Position 1 of the minor pentatonic scale looks like this. Within this position, you have 3 root notes. The root note on the low E string will determine what key you are in. Right now, our root note is a G. As we are using a minor scale, we can say that we are in the key of G minor. All scales on guitar are movable patterns, meaning all we need to do to change the key is to shift the pattern until our root note arrives at the desired key. Shifting position 1 to the 7th fret would place us in the key of B minor, and shifting again to the 5th fret reveals the key of A minor. To play in a major key, you will need to know the major pentatonic scale. However, by the end of this lesson, you will discover that no new patterns are needed to play the major pentatonic scale, and by simply shifting your perspective, you can access all 5 positions of the major pentatonic scale with no extra effort. For all examples in this lesson, we will stick to the key of G minor. Once you have memorized this position, find any backing track on YouTube in the key of G minor and begin creating your own guitar solos by using the notes within the scale. As all the notes contained within the scale will fit over the entire backing track, you are completely free to play any of the notes in whatever order you choose. They will all sound good. You can use dynamics to play softly or aggressively, use techniques such as slides, bends, hammer-ons and pull-offs to decorate your phrases, and most importantly, use interesting rhythms. Your only real limits are your level of technique and your imagination. I've found that when players are introduced to this concept for the first time, they fall into 2 camps. In one camp are the light bulb players. These players have a sudden light bulb moment in which they realise how the guitar solos they've been listening to for years were constructed. These players need very little help beyond this point, as they have a clear goal or sound within their minds that they're aiming for. With enough practice, they will be playing convincing improvised guitar solos in no time. The other camp is far more common, and when presented with the exact same information, often feel lost and remark, "I don't know what to do." If this is you, then first of all, start by making a conscious effort to improvise over backing tracks as a regular part of your practice routine. It won't get easier unless you simply do it. Next, you may want to learn a few licks or phrases from other guitar players and inject them into your own playing. The process of doing this helps to see how others approach the scale when improvising, and will give you a better sense of how to form your own licks or even transform phrases to form entirely new lead lines. With time, you will learn to play convincing solos as good as any light bulb player. After some time on this scale, you will run into a brick wall in your improvisations where you feel like you're always playing the same thing and struggle to sound different. When this occurs, and it will, first of all, try playing over backing tracks in different styles than you're used to. After this, scour the internet for great sounding licks or techniques from players that you admire that you would never have come up with by yourself. Sometimes all it takes is one new idea to breed hundreds of new licks. Which brings us to the next barrier. Eventually you will be playing great sounding solos within the 4 fret boundaries of position 1, while longingly looking at the rest of the unexplored fretboard. This is described as feeling boxed in. To overcome this, we must learn the remaining 4 patterns of the minor pentatonic scale and join them all together to form one giant soloing adventure playground. This ideally should be tackled one position at a time and follow the same steps used for position 1. Position 2 of the minor pentatonic scale looks like this. Within this position, you have 2 root notes, here and here. Viewing this position side by side with the previous position will show how they connect like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. This will reveal the notes that are shared in both positions, acting like the glue that bonds both together, including this shared root note. It's worth noting that you don't gain any new notes from learning a new position. You simply gain access to the same 5 notes in different locations. The new placement of the notes of the scale help extend your range and allows for ideas to be played in different locations across the fretboard. When approaching a new position, start by memorizing the new pattern as quickly as possible. After this, try improvising in the new position alone, before finally joining the 2 positions together to form licks using both positions at once. If you're enjoying the lesson so far, then feel free to click the like and subscribe button to be notified whenever I release a new video. And if you would like scale diagrams and tabs of these lessons, plus extra videos not released on my channel, then consider joining my Patreon page for exclusive members content and access to my Patreon chat, where you can ask questions and request videos. Position 3 of the minor pentatonic scale looks like this. Position 3 contains 2 root notes, here and here. The root note on the B string is a shared root note between this position and position 2 of the minor pentatonic scale, as are these notes which form the glue that connect both positions. Even when you've extended the range of the minor pentatonic scale by learning new positions, you will inevitably find yourself starting any improvisation from position 1 before travelling through each remaining position. This is a habit that can be caused by always looking for the key note of the backing track on the low E string and using this as a comfortable starting point to solo. To break this habit, look for the root note that matches the key on the A string and start from position 3 instead. With enough practice, this will become as easy as starting from the comfort zone of position 1. Position 4 of the minor pentatonic scale looks like this. Position 4 contains 2 root notes, here and here. As you can see, the root note on the A string is shared between position 3 and 4, as are these notes which form the glue between both positions. Position 5 of the minor pentatonic scale looks like this. Position 5 has 3 root notes, here, here, and here. The root note on the G string is shared between this position and position 4 of the minor pentatonic scale, along with the glue notes that connect both positions. The 2 remaining root notes on both E strings are now shared root notes between both position 5 and position 1 of the minor pentatonic scale, completing the 5-position loop. Changing key at this stage is easy, as all the positions always fit together the same way. So simply shift your pentatonic patterns up or down to accommodate the new key. For example, if we were to change from the key of G minor to A minor, we would only need to shift everything up by 2 frets, revealing A as our new root note and key center. After some time getting used to playing across the entire fretboard using the 5 positions of the minor pentatonic scale, you will be able to improvise confidently and freely without getting lost mid-solo. This will allow you to improvise over songs in a minor key, but what about major keys? For this, you will need the major pentatonic scale, and luckily enough, if you know the 5 positions of the minor pentatonic scale, then you have already learned the 5 positions of the major pentatonic scale. If you take the existing minor pentatonic patterns and move each position's corresponding number up to the next position, then you have each major pentatonic position. This now means that position 2 of the minor pentatonic scale is now position 1 of the major pentatonic scale, and all the other positions connect to this in exactly the same way. The only obstacle you may have to overcome is that the root note locations have moved and are no longer where you had learnt them in each minor pentatonic position. For quick reference, here are the new root note locations. I will also have a 2-page PDF available on my Patreon showing all 5 locations of the major and minor pentatonics, along with the root locations of each. Improvising with the major pentatonic scale follows the same rules. Find a backing track in a major key, find the root note on the low E string, and play position 1 of the major pentatonic scale starting from this note. From here you can expand your range by moving in and out of different positions. If you would like a more detailed breakdown of each pentatonic position, along with licks and phrases to seamlessly connect each pattern, then I would suggest watching this playlist from the beginning. And if you would like to blend chords and pentatonics together in the style of John Frusciante or Jimi Hendrix, then watch this video. As usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.